I've had my approach being described as more of a consciousness approach than a psychology approach. And, I've had discussions with psychologists and things, and there's a certain perspective psychology brings versus a consciousness approach. And just from the words of your four gardens, service, creativity, that feels like a step beyond psychology.
Yeah.
So just from the titles, I can tell you're onto something. That's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks for reflecting that. And it feels good to also step away to name it. I think psychology and OPP, consciousness healing, and all this work's important. And then maybe my gift, though, or my gift feels like right now, is to offer an inclusive framework that doesn't require a dogmatic religious belief or anything like that, to create a lifestyle. To say, like, my approach is coming out of being a practitioner of men's work and OPP now, and seeing like, hey, I also am realizing that men and women, I'm including everybody in my work always, is we need to think about how our lifestyle is designed in reaction to the modern condition, to the modern space. Like, I see OPP doing that too. We were talking early in this conversation about how during COVID, OPP becomes more relevant. It becomes a tool, what you've developed, to react to the modern condition of humans, which is that we're isolated. And so we need a mentorship program to be created for us. And like, so for Gardens, I say, we're missing out on every day connecting to nature, every day being aware of our health and deeply connected to our bodies, deeply connected to our creative. Our art has been commercialized, service has been turned into business. So to me, it's like, can we zoom out of the work-life balance and into self-cultivation? So I see it. I'm meeting perhaps a different need than you, but I love the way our two different approaches, I feel like they're very compatible to work together, different challenges.
Yeah. And what I like about what you're doing is you're taking these basic concepts and applying them to these four areas. And, some people, they call it a life wheel, and people put in like maybe 12 aspects of their life, or, they can put as many as they want.
I've seen that.
And then each one gets kind of complicated. And what I like you're doing is it's almost like you're working with archetypal things. And so when you have an archetypal approach, like to service, you're taking a real fundamental word of service, and it can be expressed in our culture as, business and providing a product and making money, or it can simply be, taking a little kid for a walk, so to me, it's more broad, and if I think of it as service rather than making money, it changes the whole dynamic of, my attitude and stuff. So, I like what you're doing. And then I'm guessing that you're helping people with certain techniques that are going to apply to other aspects of their life. It's not going to be just those four, but that's going to be their primary, they're learning the fundamentals,
Yeah, that's the basic framework that I want to start people to raise awareness around. And I think one thing that happens for me when I work with the four gardens is that I notice what gardens are either underwatered or overwatered or untended or being neglected. And so
that's cool.
The idea is to plant more practices in the gardens where you're missing them. So maybe service is underwatered for you, that you're working really hard to make money, but you're missing out on doing acts of service for others that are really meaningful to you and to the recipient. So we can offer practices that, or around health. There's many health practices I work with. Go on.
No, and I get that you're using the garden metaphor as a way to explain certain things. And I like that a lot.